All right, we are live. I got to be honest. I am shocked by the lighting situation here. The old apartment, if I was recording at night, if I was streaming at night, I could not get good lighting at all. I am baffled by how good this looks. Secondly, um, I posted in the Discord earlier, not really a major take, but I think this slate is going to be incredibly close, and it is going to be incredibly close up top. I think it'll be decided by the values, and I think all the values are within about 8 points of each other. I think this will just highlight the stupid difference between 10,000 to first and 150 to 10th. I think it's going to be highlighted like crazy in this race because I truly believe like the top 10 positions here, unless some crazy stuff works out, I think they're going to be separated by maybe like 3 points between the top 10 positions. I think it'll be a very, very tight contest. Thank you guys for joining me on a Friday evening, second to last, actually third to last stream of the year related to NASCAR. I just appreciate you guys sticking around, watching me, watching the content. Everything is up for the practice data for Cup Series, for the Xfinity Series, and for the Truck Series. I only did the projections today for the Truck Series just because I had so much to do related to all the practice sessions today. But everything is updated for the other series and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, you might as well just put Chris Wright in the 4 truck. When I read this, I not only did I do a double take, I had to open a bottle of liquor to continue through the news statement. Like I can't what? It's like an executive going through companies, okay? Maybe not a CFO, but somebody, in charge of, how things are ran, known as like a killer of studios. You see them just like murder and fire everybody at one studio, then, Comcast moves them over here or whatever, and they do the same thing to that channel or that studio. It's like Jack Wood and Chase Purdy have destroyed so much equipment in every team they've been in. They basically bankrupted the GMS truck team, and now they're moving on to KBM. I mean that's insane, and I think Jack Wood has more potential than Chase Purdy, but man, you want to talk about some sketchy stuff next year? That's going to be quite uncomfortable playing those guys up there. Yeah, Taylor and Tanner. Real quick, related to the rant. Man, a lot of people love that rant. I thought that was like a throwaway joke. I haven't had that many messages related to that Tanner and Taylor rant. Uh, that was wildly impressive. I'm very happy. 72 of you guys here for the Truck Series. We got 44 minutes until the slate locks, so feel free to drop any questions. If you want me to talk about any specific driver, please, please let them. At this point, everybody understands that the Patreon. I'm not going to give everything away, but everybody who stayed for like this weekend is basically doing a thank you. So I will openly talk more about projections or builds and things like that because it's the end of the season. So if you got specific questions, if you got specific lineup questions that I don't normally talk about during the entire year, feel free to ask like really specific questions, and we'll talk about as many things as we can get there. Yeah, I would. It's insane how well every single value play qualified. Nearly everybody in the 6K and 5K ranges out qualified where they should have. Like the fact that we have, I mean, even Haley Deegan, I mean, this is one of her better tracks, but she's 7,000 starting 14th. Can't pay that off. Caden, Jake Garcia, Jack Wood, even Raja, Chase Purdy, like everybody from 14th to 20th are starting around 4 positions higher up than they normally start, you know? And even with that, people like Hocevar, people like Ankrum, they're starting just close enough to the front to where they're not going to really be able to push in through, really based on their practice speeds. They're not close enough to really push into the top 10. And so we have a real big dead zone in this race. And in terms of value, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 people for like straight value today. I have a ton of people for like 4, 8, 4, 7, 4, 9 value. And so for me, when it came to building my lines, which I want to focus on that real fast before we really talk about the value plays. I think, I mean, clearly everybody is looking at Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, Nemechek, and Chandler Smith. I would assume that those are the 4 primary options up top that people are going to go with. Maybe you want to get it, and I don't think we need to get that creative because the contest isn't that the $10 contest isn't that huge. But I assume some people will throw Friesen in there. Some people will throw Rhodes in there. But for the most part, I think it's Zane Smith, Majeski, Nemechek, and Chandler Smith. With how qualifying played out and how similar people are projected in terms of DraftKings points from like really 24 points, like 32, it really warrants a race that has, it really warrants a lineup that has multiple lap leaders and building that way and really chasing more of the championship for contenders than I initially thought we would have to. Like entering this week, and Ty Majeski threw the flyer down in practice. That's why he had such a fast time. He did a Q run right off the trailer, did a Q run. That's why he was so fast off the trailer. But I expected us to have Ty Majeski and Chandler Smith, along with Zane Smith and Rhodes, all qualifying the top 8. Okay, the fact that Nemechek is the fact that Ty Majeski is 8th and Chandler Smith is 12th, I think that allows them in terms of where projections are right now. That gives them a really, really high floor compared to Zane Smith. I know Zane Smith is starting first, and I find it very hard to believe that Lane or Corey are going to be able to get around Zane Smith early. I think this leans very much towards Zane Smith leading the first stage, if not the first 2 stages. Okay, depending on when cautions come out. The fact that Ty Majeski will most likely either finish second or first today, I think we have to look at him having 6 place differential points by default. With Chandler Smith, I still believe Chandler Smith is the favorite to win this race today. And I would lean to him being the champion when everything is all said and done, but we don't necessarily worry about that. We're looking at fantasy and for this stuff or how points play out. I think Chandler Smith has 8 place differential points by default. Okay, I'm giving all these guys laps led and fast laps because I do believe that we're going to see the championship 4 guys lead in this race. And I would not be shocked to see 3 of them lead. Like Majeski, when he can get through the field, Majeski has a way better. Let's really dive into this real fast before I start talking out of my ass here. Because last time I looked at the practice stuff, it was last night. So let's go through. When we look at Ty Majeski, so Ty Majeski has a much faster and really splitting hairs here. Ty Majeski has a stupid fast short run car. Okay. Chandler Smith has I would say has the best balanced car. I understand that, Ty Majeski is 4th best on 5 lap and 2nd best on 10 lap. But when we look at Chandler Smith showed up to win this race. Okay. Running long runs, understanding that this race is most likely going to go green, understand that this race will be won on a 50 lap run to the end or a 40 lap run to the end. I like that Chandler Smith is 15th fastest in the 5 lap and then 3rd fastest in the 10 lap, because at that point, we're eliminating all the other bums. Like when we're looking at this in terms of 10 lap runs, Zane Smith did not run a 10 lap run. That is concerning. Ty Majeski ran a 10 lap run, but Smith and Majeski are right nose to nose with each other. Nemechek is a variable in there. I will probably not get to Nemechek because I believe that if Chandler Smith is running second or running second, third, Nemechek is not going to push the issue, especially if Chandler Smith is currently the champion with where they're running or as they run. I don't think Nemechek is going to push to lead this race, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be more of a barrier to help Chandler Smith out in some form or fashion. Okay, and so when we're looking at that and we're looking at how this race is, or this lineup construction is ended up being built with so many people not hitting value, I like the idea of playing 3 of the 4 championship contenders. And I have not talked about Ben Rhodes, so I am not going to end up playing Ben Rhodes today. I like putting a lineup together that has Chandler Smith, that has Ty Majeski, and that has Zane Smith. The reason being is because I can't get a feel on if I want to I'm playing Chandler Smith. I knew going into this race I was playing Chandler Smith. I think Ty Majeski will end up outscoring Zane Smith. I think Zane Smith will end up being passed for the win, for the championship in this race, and he'll probably end up finishing 4th or 5th. It all depends on how many laps he can lead early in this race, and I think he will lead enough to null the negative place differential points that Zane Smith will end up having. And so for me, I like chasing 3 of the 4 championship guys due to the fact that Ty Majeski has 6 place differential baked in. I like the fact that Chandler Smith has 8 place differential baked in, on top of him going to be running fast laps even when he's not leading. Okay. Usually I don't chase place differential this aggressive, but when we look at how poorly everybody is projected here, I think it is absolutely of the utmost importance to get as many as the top scorers in your lineup as possible and really just building from there. And so because of that, let's really talk about the values real fast. Let me go through the comments real fast. 92 of you guys here. Thank you very much for joining me on this Friday evening. Ty, I mean, look, I do believe I think Chandler Smith has the best chance of winning. If this goes to a green light checker, Ty Majeski is your champion. That's just how it's going to be. Tanner Gray is starting too close to the front for me. I like Taylor Gray a lot more in this situation here. The fact that we have very few drivers that offer really any type of place differential, and I'm using that term. I usually use place differential, or I don't use it very loosely, but we need to really attack that here due to the fact that we have so many people projected to not hit value. So like the place differential plays in this race lean to being Taylor Gray, lean to being Hocevar, but we're not playing Hocevar because he's not going to get close to value. Lean to Derek Kraus, but he's in a backup car. I like that he did qualify 23rd, but he'll most likely end up finishing around 16th, 15th. That's not going to pay it off. Tyler Ankrum is the next place differential play, and he would be the second one that I would look at of actually somewhat getting close to value. And so far, Taylor Gray and Tyler Ankrum are the only two that I'm seeing. Past that, you have Austin Wayne Self, and those are the three guys I would categorize as a place differential play. I know we have Lawless Allen there, but we're not playing him for place differential. We're playing him because we need to fit in a lineup. We have Dean Thompson, we have Blaine Perkins. Yes, they're starting in the back, but there's very little upside in what these guys can do. We're not playing Keith McGee. We're not playing Amari Williams, because when you look back at how slow these cars have been, it's very, and I even gave them 15 and 16 points respectively, but there's a real chance these guys don't score over 10 points. And so we're not going to that part of the value range. And so chasing place differential up top for your lap leaders is the only place differential that I really want to chase there. Let's see. All right. We'll be highly on with him starting concerned he doesn't lead. I am not concerned about Chandler Smith not leading any laps. I think Chandler Smith will move up through the field, and I'm guessing probably at the end of stage one. Now it is a shorter stage, but I think at the end of stage one, Chandler Smith will be running around 4th or 5th. At that point, you lean on the pit crews to get somebody to the pole on a restart, and the restarts are going to be, I think, beneficial to the guys who are able to start up front. Like if you're starting in the top 4 and you're a championship 4, nobody's going to race you hard. I think this is a race to where Chandler Smith starting 12th at 11,000 can pay off, and I'm going to be leaning on that. If you're playing Ankrum, then you're giving up on a 3 lap leader type of race, which if that is the road that you want to go down, which if I was building a lot of lines, I probably would end up going down that road of playing more than just the 3 lap leaders. I think you're most likely playing Ankrum with Zane Smith and Ty Majeski, or Zane Smith and Chandler Smith, whatever 2 combinations you want to do. In that case, my issue with Ankrum is that, so like I have Ankrum for 42 points today. That's 4.8. Okay. And that's giving Ankrum, like an 11th, 12th place finish. The issue comes from, what if Ankrum finishes 14th? Okay. What if he finishes 15th? What if we get a situation where Tyler gives you 38 points, 40 points, which will still be one of the higher scorers? Like, let me go ahead and rank these guys based on DraftKings points real fast. Because I'm going to imagine that Tyler Ankrum, even with my projections, is probably a top 8 scorer with that. Let me see real fast. So Tyler Ankrum would end up being, he would be my 7th highest scoring driver today. And that's not with him hitting value. The issue comes from is Ankrum can get you 42 points, 43, 40 points very easily. If we get a situation where there is a 3rd lap leader and somebody can squeeze into, and you can get a guy like Zane Smith. I have Zane Smith for 67 points today. Okay. Regardless of what happens between Chandler, Ty Majeski, Nemechek, Friesen, there's a good chance that 2 of these drivers, Smith, Majeski, Nemechek, Friesen, score in the 50s. So when we're looking at the optimal lineup, and Tyler Ankrum is scoring 40 to 45, and the value plays are going to be when we're looking at it, it really non-existent in determining a Tyler Ankrum versus a lap leader. I would much rather chase a lap leader that I think can have like 7, 8 more points than Tyler Ankrum. That's my approach and opinion on Tyler Ankrum and why I'm personally not playing. I'm also only doing only one line because, as I said, I don't like putting money on the championship races, and I've already lost enough fucking money today with the DraftKings stock. Okay, I don't really want to fuck around and lose a ton more there. When we look at Raja Caruth and Haley Deegan, Raja is another guy that I think people are going to want to go to $6,800 in the Spire truck. My issue with Raja is he has been really, really underwhelming. I have been really disappointed in him because I think he should be finishing better than 34th at Bristol, better than 25th at Richmond, better than 11th at Gateway. You know, these are situations to where I think he should be finishing better than that. I'm currently giving Raja Caruth. What are we giving? What are we giving Raja? I'm giving him 16th today. Okay, let's bump that up. Let's just see what that is like. Giving him like 11th. 39 points. He'll make the optimal. Raja is very much. I'm going to lean on how he ran at Richmond, and I think he's going to struggle even at Gateway. He was the 15th best car at Gateway. The cautions later in the race helped him pass people and finish 11th. I'm gonna lean on Raja getting stuck around 15th to 14th all day and not getting into the top 12. So that's where I would be. But between Raja and Deegan, I think Raja has a much higher chance of working out. I would not do that with Deegan. Colton, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for reaching out to me earlier in the year. I know we didn't end up doing anything together, but I still appreciate that. What happened with Wood going to KBM? Jack Wood's going to KBM. You know, that's really it. Colby Howard, not for me. So where are we at with Colby? Between it, like if you're thinking of playing Colby, I would honestly just play Raja Caruth. I don't think there's a reason to really do that, or I would play Taylor Gray. Colby Howard, I am worried about, like, and as I said, I'm really splitting hairs. Like, I'm worried about Colby Howard only finishing 16th today or 15th today. You know, when we look at how he's ran at the shorter tracks, under green, 25th best at Richmond, 17th best at IRP, you know, 20th best at Gateway. Okay. Now he did end up finishing Gateway 23rd. He finished IRP 32nd and he finished Richmond 28th. And the IRP finished because he got turned by Carson Hocevar. But in terms of green flag speed at these shorter tracks that I think are even, and I think Phoenix is even tougher than these tracks, I just can't get to Colby Howard when I think he's going to run like 16th or 17th today. I'm guessing Ben Rhodes is probably going to be mid to low 20s. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Ben Rhodes ownership. Might even push high teens. I don't think it will. I think there'll be enough people wanting to get on a lower owned Ben Rhodes, but it just in my head, I'd probably give him like 22, 23% ownership there. You have to finish the champion. How do you have the championship for finishing that? I don't know why it took me so long to read that. Just make sure how much time we got before this locks. All right, we got 26 minutes. I'll probably go for like another 10, 15. I would have the championship for, I have it right now. I have it Chandler's. I had based on projections. I have it Majeski, Smith. Actually, I don't know why I said that. We have Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, Zane Smith, and Ben Rhodes. But I have them. I have Zane Smith projected to finish first. Actually, I have him projected to finish second. My bad. I have Majeski projected to finish second. I have Chandler Smith projected to finish second. I actually have all these guys projected for finish. I didn't even realize that. So does that help you? Like, I still think if this race goes green, Chandler Smith has the better chance of getting there. In terms of cheap place differential plays, I think we got to go with Lawless Allen. I think Lawless Allen is probably going to be popular, but I think it's Lawless. I think the only one I feel comfortable in playing tonight is Lawless Allen. Just how it is, just how it be, you know. When we look at how Lawless has finished these races this year, finished races similar to this, you know, 24th at IRP. I mean, my bad, 24th at Richmond. He did finish 34th at IRP, but his average running position at IRP was 25th. And he has a running position inside the top 28 in nearly every single race this year. And really, yes, he got wrecked at IRP. He got wrecked at Kansas. He got wrecked or he had issues at Homestead. But when we really look at this, he's not getting taken out in a lot of these races. Yes, he has a 30th place at Texas. Yes, he has a 30th place at like Bristol Dirt, you know. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it's a pretty safe bet that Lawless Allen is going to finish between 24th to 26th today. And if he can get us even more than that, that's even better. But I think Lawless Allen is a guy that you should absolutely play. And he's the one guy that I feel confident in to where I built my line, put Lawless Allen in, and then I really, really worried about the other guys in there. But Lawless Allen, I think is the best value play. I think he's the safest play. I think no matter what type of build you're doing, you're being forced to go to the 5K range in some form or fashion. I would much rather play and really head to head between Garcia, Jack Wood, and Lawless Allen. I think they're going to be separated by like 6 points all race. It really depends on what happens late in this race for Jack and for Jake and Jack Wood. If they can maintain a running position, that'll end up beating the place differential that Lawless Allen can potentially get in this race. So I think Lawless Allen is where you go. And that would also answer my top punt play there. And I know we're so behind in the comments, but that's where I would go there. And it's not, look, I know you don't mean this in that way. I don't hate on any. I mean, I hate on Corey LaJoy. I hate on McDowell. But in terms of not feeling somebody or not liking somebody in preview videos, I mean, I'm looking at data that I want to look at. I mean, practice will like hold water, when we get there. But entering this week, and I still feel strong that I don't think Zane Smith wins the championship tonight. Is that hating on him? I think Zane Smith finishes in the top 5. I think he'll lead the first stage. But in terms of people I want to chase, it's Majeski and Chandler Smith. I don't think Eckes is in play. I said in the preview video, which I'm happy and it makes me sad that my CSGO thing, that I know the audience is there. I know it's going to get a ton of views. Like that blows the views out of the water. And then my actual videos related to what I do to survive for a living get like no views. But I mentioned, because I think so many people lay over and they don't want to race the championship 4 drivers, that eliminates a lot of people. And so, yes, I did mention Freeze and I did mention Nemechek, but Eckes would fall into that as well. Of people that I don't think you can play this week, because I don't think they're going to be nearly as aggressive as they normally would be, because it's this race, it's a championship race. They don't want to be known for wrecking the championship leader. They don't even want to be involved in that. They're going to lay over and let the championship 4 guys by. That's just how it's going to be. And so for me, Eckes is not in play. Outside of Lawless Allen, I hate a lot of these fucking guys, dude. I gotta be honest. I don't even remember who I have in my line. I don't even remember, because I wrote them down. So my 1-to-1s, or like not my 1-to-1s, but the guys that I was debating on playing. Let me bring this up. Sorry, give me one moment. I'm pulling up these lines so I can mess with the builds real fast. Well, also the $10 and $4 lock. So if you didn't get in there, sorry, sucks to be you. But let's see. When we're looking at these guys in the back, Lawless Allen, Blaine Perkins, Boyd, Garcia, Wood are the value plays that you have to deal with. I think Dean Thompson is starting too high up and it's too expensive to work out. I think it's very difficult, depending on who you're chasing. Like for me, I would much rather chase Austin Wayne Self and Taylor Gray then go to Timmy Hill. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because you can go like Austin Wayne Self and Timmy Hill, but then you're left picking between Williams, McGee, I mean, even Perkins, depending on who you're running with. I think you're giving up too much for paying for like putting in 2 6K guys in your line, depending on, or like regardless of what build you have. I think if you're not chasing 3 lap leaders, you need to chase Tyler Ankrum today, or you need to chase Hocevar. I think those are the only 2 guys that if you're building that way, you would end up going to. Like, you're not going to build with 2 lap leaders in mind and then play Austin Wayne Self and Timmy Hill or something, because like that doesn't make sense for me. And so I don't think he can get up to those guys. I don't think Dean Thompson is worth the price. I just can't play Caden. I think Caden's going to run well, but he's starting 15th. You know, I think that's right around where he'll run. Same thing with Jack Wood, same thing with Garcia. These guys are starting 15th, 16th, and 17th, all 3 of them. There's a lot of good cars starting behind him. And it's not even a situation where these guys are going to finish like 22nd. Like Caden, Jack Wood, and Garcia literally need to finish like 3 positions farther up than where they're starting right now. And unless the race gets stupid, I just can't see it. So in terms of value play, or in terms of like pump plays, you're stuck with Wood, Garcia. You're not playing Hacker because he's in a Reum truck. He's going to be slow. He's starting 28th. I don't see that working out. If you think that this is a race of attrition, then you will go Boyd. But even 1-to-1 between Boyd, Lawless, Allen, and Perkins, there's a real chance. Like, look back at how poorly Spencer Boyd has ran, like how poorly this car has ran. His last finish, regardless of the track, 36, 36, 32nd, 32nd, 36, 32nd. He did finish 16th at Mid-Ohio, but 25th, 29th, 23rd. I mean, we're going all the way back to June at this point. When we look at how Spencer Boyd ran in practice, I don't see this car having the speed to get into the mid-20s unless we have an absolute wreck fest, unless we have an absolute case where people are being taken out, whereas I can see Lawless Allen running under green, finishing in the 20s. I can see Blaine Perkins staying in the 20s and at least outrunning Spencer Boyd. And so for that, I don't think you could play Spencer Boyd, and it just goes to Lawless, Allen, and Perkins. So it's Perkins, Allen's, Garcia, Wood for me in the value range, and you're really just building on whatever you can do with the rest of your line there. 17 minutes until lock, by the way. I'm with you, Dave, just doing one here. Who would be higher owned? I think it's Majeski. I think people want to chase Majeski more. I think people are going to want to go to Majeski a little bit more because he is cheaper than these guys here, or than the other 2 guys like Chandler Smith and Zane Smith. So I think Majeski ends up being a little lower owned. Oh, there, I gotta start flying through these. Enfinger can't do it. As I said, starting 13th. He's not going to race for the lead. He's not going to get. They're not going to put him out there to mess with the championship. I just don't see it. So I can't play Enfinger here. Austin Wayne Self, as I said, if you're running a chase place differential and depending on what type of build you have, I think Austin Wayne Self at $6,700 makes sense. If the optimal ends up being a 2 lap leader type of race. Yeah, all the hills are in the dead zones there. So Pearce has Nemechek in his optimal. I don't. I want to focus on the championship 4 drivers specifically, but because I think it's Chandler Smith or Nemechek in the optimal lineup today. And I want to lean on Chandler Smith, the lap times that he's showing, how well he's been running, over Nemechek. That's just where I'm at there. I don't like Perkins, but he's one of the 4 guys that you have to go there. That's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know if I do it now, unless he's like the 4th or even if he's the 3rd best favorite. I don't know if I do that now. But it is a shame that they're doing that. So Sauter has been in ThorSport equipment. So the way that I looked at this is, would you play Jesse Little in this car starting 27th for $7,800? Because I think it is an absolute 1-for-1 trade. This is a young motorsports machine. I like Jesse Little when he's $55 to $6,200. I think it's very there. If I saw Jesse Little at $7,800 here, I would pass. And the reason being, look at the practice times. He's running Jesse Little practice times. That's not bad. That's not an insult. But when we look, I gotta really keep track of this time. 50 minutes until lock, so I can leave you guys with like 10 minutes to build lines and stuff. When we look at Johnny Sauter, where are you, Sauter? Which shout out to Johnny. Like, he may have been annoying as hell, but the man loves to race. Like, there's not a lot of drivers who would go from his pedigree to just still be there for fun. He reminds me of Jeff Green a lot. But look at these times. Goes out, runs a 3-lap run, slow, very slow. Goes in, runs a 4-lap run, still slow. These guys are working on this car this whole time, and Johnny Sauter was just slow. And we look at his fastest lap, his 5 fastest laps rank between the field. He's 28 fastest. In terms of his average speed, Johnny Sauter is 30th fastest. So I would not play Johnny Sauter here. Unless you think this race gets insane and stupid. Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you for dropping by and saying hello and everything. And Hocevar doesn't, man. My main concern with Hocevar is I don't think he has the speed to be able to not give a fuck. Like, if he's not giving a fuck running 12th, okay, whatever. That doesn't really help me. Now, if I thought he had like top 4 speed and he didn't give a shit about wrecking somebody for the win, then I'd focus on Hocevar. But I just don't think I don't think he can be up there in a situation to really take advantage of his scatterbrain ability, Yeah. I hope it works out. I'll probably be with you on the Perkins train. So we'll see how that ends up going. 65 of you guys here through this entire live show. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for the support this entire year. If you want to support us during the off season, I do have a PayPal link in the description below because I have to pause the Patreon in December. If you win any money tonight, or you feel like you would like to tip at the end of the year, maybe you're not a part of the Patreon, feel free to send some money on the Patreon on the PayPal link in the description below. I will see you guys tomorrow to talk the Xfinity Series race. And thank you guys very much for just being here the entire year and supporting us and everything. So thank you very much. Real quick. Chance, why'd you delete that? I'm busy showing this on the screen. You got delete on the chat. What are you doing there? I'm not playing Kraus. That's just where I'm at there. Jonathan, I know it's not up on my side yet. Oh, there it is. Thank you very much for the support. I do appreciate it. Best of luck tonight, guys. Enjoy Friday evening. Thank you for being here and hanging out for half an hour with me. I'll see you guys tomorrow.